Now, we were all shocked this weekend to hear the news of the death of Whitney Houston, the superstar singer who was just 48 years old, had been found dead in her hotel, and it's believed that she died in her bath as she prepared for a Hollywood party. Let's have a look at just why she'll be remembered as such a musical legend. Beautiful, beautiful voice. But what did you think when you heard about her death yesterday? Because it was all over the news, wasn't it?
I was absolutely shocked, especially because she's the same age as me. And I remember Whitney coming out all those years ago, and every single singer was just copying everything she did, because she had this amazing ability to do light and shade in the voice, which means that you start off really quiet on a note, and then it just builds to this amazing sound. I mean, when you hear that, and it really got to me just then. I was thinking then,
touches you,
yeah, it really
does.
And just so sad. What a waste of a talent. One of the best singers ever, I think. She was just amazing, and what a sad loss. You know, heaven's gain is our loss, unfortunately.
When I heard, you're just never prepared for things like that, are you? You know, you hear it on the radio, and the first thing I thought was, God, not Whitney Houston, not... And I remembered her exactly as she was in her heyday, you know, when she was, you know, really right up there with the Bodyguard and all of that.
And exquisitely beautiful
Absolutely,
as well,
yeah,
wasn't she?
perfect looking, everything. And that was my first thought. But then suddenly, you know, as people started talking about it, and you started thinking about it, then those other images came in, you know, the really sad images of when she got into drugs and everything. It was, and then I just felt really sad. And the thing is, when you think about the life that she had led and she'd been leading, you kind of, a lot of people go, well, you know, it was only a matter of time, you know, it's not a surprise. But it was still shocking for me, still absolutely shocking. It was just, you wake up one morning and there she is, she's not there anymore. And it's just, it's so horribly sad. And as you say, Jane, it's just such a waste.
Absolutely.
Brilliant
So
talent.
we saw, you know, recently there's terrible headlines about Amy Winehouse, for instance, who could have gone on to be, you know, one of the greats of all time as well. But it was just, you know, she was exquisitely beautiful, and her voice touched everybody, even just listening to it then. It's kind of... Ooh. But, you know, we don't know how she died yet, because obviously there hasn't been a coroner's inquest. But I thought it was incomprehensible, really, just how sad it was. And it's down to the drugs culture. We know it's well documented that she'd been on drugs for a long, long time in the past. And you know, it's just the tragedy of that culture that gets to me. It's an absolute waste, and I loathe how it's glamorised. I loathe how it's put over as fun. Oh, it's great to do. I absolutely loathe all of that.
But can I just say that on a good note, that all of us, I'm sure, it will evoke memories, and we'll all have wonderful memories of those songs. I know I do. You know, The Bodyguard, it makes me cry, but in the best way possible. And I think that's what we'll remember. The wonderful times that you sat and listened to how many of her songs, and where you were, who you were with, what you did. And she'll always be there, and she'll live forever now. You know, she'll go on and live forever, and she's out of her bad times and out of that terribly sad, awful time that we saw her in. So, you know, we should all celebrate her and long live her.
Now, obviously,
a lot of stars have sent their condolences to her family after hearing the news, including Barbara Streisand. And she said, amongst many other things, she said about Whitney Houston, she had everything: beauty, a magnificent voice. How sad that her gifts could not bring her the same happiness that they brought to us. Which I think is it's a very wise thing to say. But do you think it's easier said than done to recognise your own gifts, however small or large they might be?
When you look in the mirror, you don't always see yourself, do you? You know, I always say, because, you know, when you look in the mirror, you see yourself reversed, don't you? You never see the true you. And I think that goes for everything about you, unless you're very arrogant and think you're the best thing that's ever lived, of course, and that's a different thing. But when you do look in the mirror, I don't think we do recognise our talents. I don't think we recognise, you know, how nice we are, how nice we look. We're always going, oh, look at me, oh, God, I'm getting older.
Looking at the bad bits all
yes,
the time.
you always see that. And you never really recognise, I don't know if she did, but you never really recognise what the great things are about you, what the good things are. And we don't look there and go, you're all right, you're okay, you've got great... And sadly, I think she possibly didn't. And she had quite a lot of humility, but she was very needy. And I think that destroyed a lot in her, that she didn't have the strength to stand on her own, you know.
I think
say,
she did.
"This is
I
me."
think she probably did know what her gift was, but it was all powerful, wasn't it? It was all consuming,
Yeah.
I suppose, in a way. And she, towards the end, I suppose she was powerless to stop herself from destroying that gift, which is basically what she did. You know, if you saw any of the last performances that she did, it was heartbreaking, truly.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
you know,
Was she on the X Factor?
Yes, she was. And her dress split, didn't it?
Yeah, just wasn't comfortable or not nice to
No.
watch. And you were willing her to be, you know, the old Whitney as she was. And I wonder, I mean, I don't know that much about her, but I wonder what it was that enabled her to allow herself to descend into that kind of lifestyle and destroy the talent that she had and everything about it. And it's especially she has a daughter as well. I don't get it.
But being the top, being Whitney Houston, being the very top, the best singer in the world, you're at the top of your game, and the only way is down from there. And
a lot
also,
of people have that pressure.
as a singer, sometimes you don't want to sing. Sometimes you just say, I just don't want to do this anymore. And you have a break, and then it's difficult to come back. And I think when Whitney did come back after all her problems, she realised that she'd lost it. And how as a singer, how do you cope with that?
And her demons must have killed her then, if that's the case, because the self-doubt must have set in. And once that self-doubt comes to a singer, then maybe the voice goes.
Well, what we must do is just remember The Bodyguard and how fantastic she was. And that's how we should all remember Whitney Houston, because she was amazing.
Amazing.
OK, right, break time. But still to come, we'll be meeting Hollywood star Dan Aykroyd.